All right, let's copy paste this. Oh, I forgot to change this here. Let's call this color. All right. And let's call this file. Okay. Make sure when you copy paste, you change everything. All right, here it is. So copy that. Let's call this audio. Call it audio settings. Okay, and our same thing here. We are going to have one TD section. Let's merge 3 cells. All right, sounds good. And an input. And I'm going to select the type attribute this time. Let's call it a range. So range, let us select the range. Let's ID that, let's say volume. And name it volume. And we can select a range. So you can set it from minimum 0 to maximum whatever you want. And even you can set the steps or differentiation between each steps, right? So let's say we want 10. So we have 10 separate steps to go from 0 to 100. Let's just take a look, see what it looks like. All right, so let's save that. Here we go, and this is what it looks like. All right, so we can change that. There's 10 of them. If you change the steps to 20, let's say we have 5 different. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. All right, so here we go. So steps control this the way I want it. If I put 50 here, basically it would have 2 steps. Save, refresh. Here we go. If you click here, you should be able 1, 2, right? So that's 50. And let's keep it like 10 or something, as I said it before. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So that is that. Let's get to the comment section. Almost done. All right. Let's have a heading. Let's say comment and questions. Whatever you want to type here, let's call it comment. All right, so that is that. And we have to merge. To 3. Okay, here we can use a tag text area, right? And the text area, you can let's set the name to comments. And we can set the rows, number of rows, let's say 10, and columns, let's say 70, up to you. That can be changed and modified the way you like based on your form. And here we can put something that it shows predefined in your comment section. Let's say please, all right, sorry, please enter your comments. Right, and that will do. Let's save this. Let's go take a look. Here we go. Let's just see. Here's the comment section, and this is already predefined, so you can go modify if you like. Okay, so that is that. Our form, pretty neat, is ready to go. Now we're gonna get to our buttons, which is important and interesting. Okay. We're gonna have our last TR, and let's have 2 TD here. 1 and 2, right? So one for submit and the other one for reset. So let's start with this. Let's have the 3 cells for that guy and 1 for there, because submit is more important. Okay, couple of ways of doing this. We have inputs to do this, so we can actually select the type and let's call it submit. And there is also a type here for input that it does the same thing. So we can go type and reset. So if you save that and take a look, there we go. We can centralize these using CSS or other methods, but here it is. So this is submit, and when I press that, if you take a look, everything will submit it separated by n. I'm going to talk about that when I'm finished the buttons. So everything is in there using the right name. It's nothing there right now because it's just the preset color is there and the comments also there because these are something in it. But let's say the country is 1, the value 1 for US because it's already there. I want to have something predefined set here that I forgot to do. Let's do that. So I can go ahead in my where is that? Up there, payment. We can use checked, save it, and now if you refresh, this shows up. If you submit, you can see it will submit the thing that is predefined, right? So this country is 1, payment 1 is selected by default, right? And if you change those, these information will change accordingly. We're gonna talk about that. But these kind of reset, let's put something here. Let's see, reset works. Here we go, it's reset it up. Let's put a couple of things here and reset it. It's all gone. So these two works, but these are boring, or there's a other way of doing this. I'm gonna cover both here. So let's go back to this and kind of change this to something more proper. So let's ID this as a submit, and instead of type submit, we can use image, because if you recall at the beginning, I have some images that I can use for my buttons. All right, so let's pick the source. Let's see, here's my submit picture that I put in my same folder. That's the week 11 folder. So here it is. And now we can set the value to submit. So that is alternative way of doing this. Also here for reset, you can do buttons even and set the type to reset and just leave it there and not write anything in the button. Just we can have an image in there instead of writing inside the button. We can select the source. Let's see, here is my reset. Good to go. And let's have an alternative here just in case the image is not, it didn't load up or anything like that. So save that. Let's go take a look. Refresh. There we go. Let's take a look at my form. Here is my submit, and let's put something in there. Let's go put the name here. Let's say some right there and submit, and you can see it shows up here. So that is working properly. And the reset, let's put this and see it works. Here we go. The reset also works properly. So that is good to go. Let's just talk a couple of things before I wrap it up. Here is one thing I want to talk about is hidden type, and basically the other thing I want to talk about is read only. So I'm going to go all the way up. Read the law of code, eh? All right, so outside of the table, we just want to talk about it. Let's have an input, and let's make the type let's say text for now. Let's talk about read-only, and let's say ID that customer ID, and let's name it the same thing. And let's put the value some, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the number you like, right? And let's make this read-only. So that means that whoever used the form cannot change that. So let's save it. Let's go to the form here and refresh that. All right. And you can see it shows up here. I cannot change this at all. So as much as I click, it's just there, right? So this is a read-only. The user cannot change the information here. However, if you submit, it will show here, right? So this information will send to the server. If you don't want to show this at all, but you still want to send the information to the server, you can also go change this. So get rid of the read-only, right? And here you can change the, where is that? The type to hidden. So hidden, obviously make the box hidden here, but still the information is there. So the user cannot do anything. So here we go. So I'm gonna put some name here and submit my form. And you can see still customer ID show up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these two I want to cover for sure. Hidden field, let the web developers include data that cannot be seen or modify, and you also can make it read-only, that you can see what it is, but they can't really change it at all, right? Okay, so one more thing that I want to talk about and wrap it up is the form, that what you can do with this tag here. You can set the action if you like to load, let's say, so I can create it, but this is not the main focus. You can load a PHP file here through this form if you want to send those information to that page or use it for any purposes. And as you probably studied the method, so you have method get and post, which is I'm going to talk about in a second. Let me open a comment section here. Paste this information right there. So notice how they get, it appends from the data into the URL in name and value pairs, as we seen when I submit the form, right? The length of the URL is limited to 3,000 characters, which is enough for most of the applications. And you never set the sensitive data using that because everyone can see it, obviously. On the other hand, you got the post. So post, you can append data from inside of the body of the HTML request, but it's not shown in URL. And the good news is there has no size limitation, right? So here, let's test it out. Let's start with the get. And if you don't mention the method, by default is get, as we've seen before. So let's just go quickly take a look. Here we go. Let's refresh that really quick. Let's put some information here. And let's pick a couple of those. There we go, Toronto. That's enough just with testing here. Let me submit. Here we go. So name here, you can see everything, and that's the default. Now I am going to change that to post. Save it and refresh my page. And let's submit something this time. There we go. Whatever information, submit. You don't see anything, and just load the action page. It's not found because I haven't created yet, right? So that is a difference I want to make sure to mention. That's pretty much that. I think I covered the basis for this week, so you guys get the idea. Hopefully you enjoyed the video.